Hey everyone. I know this isn't a new concept, but there are new people joining the community every day. Midjourney is constantly changing and updating, and I'd like to have a new and up-to-date video that can hopefully move people in the right direction. First things first, if you're already paying for Midjourney, the first thing you should have done is create your own personal Discord server, add the Midjourney bot to the server, and do all image creation there. I created a video showing how to do this whole setup, and I'd highly recommend checking that out if you haven't already done so. I'll have the link in the description below. Recently, I've been helping out a friend that is new to most of the AI world, and is really interested in figuring out how some of it works so that he can make use of it for an organization that he's working on. Using Midjourney, one of the first challenges he came across was prompting for what he's already envisioned in his mind. This is what most people don't realize makes image prompting more of a skill than just anybody can do it. To keep his anonymity, I'm going to change the prompt he sent me to a completely different organization. But this is basically the same prompt where I just change the subjects and descriptors. As you can see, this prompt is kind of insane. So there are a few things I'd like to do, starting with breaking down this prompt and everything that's wrong with it, and how you can create the exact same prompt that's probably a quarter of the length and will get more accurate results because there's not so much extra BS that's confusing the AI. Starting with the very first word, there's already a problem. Don't use terms like create or envision. Think of it as if you're talking to Siri or one of the other competitors and you wanted to create a timer for 20 minutes. A lot of people, for some reason, want to be polite to the non-sentient, at least so far, software and say, please create a timer for 20 minutes, and sometimes even saying thanks at the end. Or you can just say 20-minute timer and get the exact same result without fear of Skynet's retribution. At the very end of the prompt, you'll see that the actual text that they want displayed is only the acronym. So at the beginning, adding in the meaning of the acronym does nothing. Skipping to the next sentence, and the fact that there are sentences is also another issue. If you want something in the image, you literally just type in that something. Nearly a full sentence telling it to incorporate something into the image without even saying what that something is, again, does nothing. Saying the skull is prominent and also the central focus is repetitive, so get rid of the latter. And Midjourney doesn't care what the subject supposedly represents. The dashes also do nothing. Though they might help with organizing a very long prompt, that won't be a problem soon. Telling Midjourney what the significance of a subject is or what it represents, once again, too much unneeded information. So get rid of the few of those throughout. That got rid of quite a bit. Saying version of a is also doing nothing. And F-22 Raptor is more than enough for Midjourney to know what you're talking about. Since you're saying one object is on the left and the other is on the right, it's easiest just to combine them and say they are on the sides together, and if it really matters which side each is on, then just re-roll to get what you want. Unless you have a specific quantity you need, using multiple does nothing if you've already pluralized the subject, and nuclear weapons and bombs is a bit redundant. Never mention the composition, and then this whole next part for the tentacles can much more easily be stated as long tentacles surrounding or enveloping or embracing everything. Again, just state what you want, not that you want something. That's a no on the evoking a sense of and while clearly maintaining. No utilize. And most likely saying that you want 3 of the items to be dark and ominous and the others to be lighter will do nothing. But we can put that back in later if that's at all noticeable. There's really no reason to put in metallic accents for items that are already made up of metal. And there's especially no reason to tell Midjourney why you want them. This next part was my favorite. Telling the algorithm to experiment, and especially as to why you want it to do the experimenting. At the end here is where we're finally telling Midjourney that we want text in the prompt, and it's repeating the exact same words from the very start. So take all of that at the end, simplify it, and merge it with the start of the prompt. For the most part, it's done now, but it could use just a bit of organization. Style specific to subject, go with the subject, and no more periods, commas only. It already says at the beginning that the logo should be bold and expressive, so I'm going to really simplify the ending of this and a few other things to finish this out. Take a look at that difference. So that's less than a quarter of the length of the original. But did it work? Let's test it out. First, let's put in the original. I'm going to do a couple attempts as it's crazy how much they can still vary, even with this much input. And looking at the individual results. Now let's put in the much shorter version and see how well that works. And now let's take a look at those. First off, with Midjourney, text is kind of a crapshoot, but otherwise I'd say it was a pretty big success. In fact, I think the shorter prompt works even better. The reason this is because it still basically has all of the important information that I wanted in the image, but didn't have all of the extra that Midjourney can get tripped up on and have a more difficult time adhering to lengthy and wordy prompt. It's always better to start out short and then add on to it the changes you'd like to see. Now I'm going to do one more insanely long prompt. In fact, it's so long that I couldn't even add the entirety of it to the Imagine input. But this time, I'm just going to show you the original, and then show you what I was able to whittle it down to and look at the results. First, here's the monstrosity. And here's what I cut it down to. Let me generate those real quick. Again, here are the results, and I think it turned out basically the same as the first example. Like before, I think the shorter version shows a bit of an improvement overall. In fact, the first prompt just looks like they are all wolves and not a single werewolf in sight. And even if the outputs were about the same, the difference in the prompt length really shows how pointless the original prompt was. Hopefully you found this video helpful. I'd appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. Leave a comment on what specific things you'd like to know more about Midjourney, or check out any of my many other videos on AI applications. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.